Okay, this will be my third attempt doing that, or third or fourth attempt doing this. I did a tutorial once on it and I messed it up and I just kind of gave up, but it has come up again. A friend of mine wants to know how to create a YouTube Shorts video, and I still forgot to look up the amount of time that a clip has to be, the max amount of time, but let's go ahead and check really quick. I think it's 15 seconds to a minute. Yeah, 60 seconds, 1 minute. When you upload it, one of the things you're going to want to do, I have a hashtag shorts in the title, and that seems to help. You can also put the hashtag shorts, I believe, at the bottom right here. I have it in upper and lower case. So that's an additional thing that you'll want to do to make sure that the system finds it. So here we are in DaVinci Resolve, and we have a video that I've captured here. It's a 1920 by 1080, and what I want to do now, and there are some comparison tests done, and you can do 1080 by 1080 square, but I actually have it set to be a 2160 by 2160 square. That's actually upgrading resolution, and it actually is better quality, even though it's taking the 1080p source and moving it up to a 4K source. It seems to provide better results for some reason. You want to find your little clip where you're going to be doing your edit, and then you're going to want to cut that part of the clip out or find some way to highlight it in your software. Make sure that it's between 15 seconds and 1 minute long. Once you have your clip ready to go, here in DaVinci we have to set up something called a timeline. Now your software might be different, but this is the steps in DaVinci. If I right click on this timeline and I go to timeline settings, you see that I have this format of 1920 by 1080 HD. I have square, full frame with crop. I don't think I've messed with any setting in here. Everything here is exactly the same as it is by default, but the output is 2160 by 2160 square scale for full frame with crop. And so this will allow me to take this 1080p video and output it as a 2160, or I think it's 2060p or 4K. I don't know exactly the right terminology for it. Anyway, so I have that set, so that's what this will do. It'll take this video and put it as a 2160p. If I go over here to deliver, there's one more thing I've got to do. Under resolution, I have to pick the 2160 by 2160 Ultra HD Square. H265 if you want to use your hardware encoder. And you have your little clip here. So this clip is 21 seconds long. I've had a lot of luck using about 20 seconds for my clip, and that's what I usually try to stick around. And when I export this, you'll get a square video. This preview kind of shows you what you're getting. You don't have to do any crop or anything like that here in DaVinci. You will have to use cropping or other devices in some of the other software depending on what you're using. But this preview kind of tells you what you're going to get, and it's pretty accurate. Once you've exported it, you'll see that it is actually square. We're going to go ahead here and export this, and I'm just going to call this test. Now it's going to ask to add higher resolution renders. I'm going to say add. That's fine. Replace existing file. So I didn't know I had that. So we'll do test 2. Maybe that one doesn't exist. Alright, and then I just got to go over here to render 1. It takes just a little bit to render it. It's showing that it is indeed square here, but I still want to make sure that it's square. And there's one final test that I'm going to do. Because once you upload this, you can't re-upload it or redo it. You lose all your traffic and views. The system's only going to promote it once, so you got to make sure you get it right the first time. Okay, here's test 2. If we double click it, it should show perfectly square resolution, which is what you need. Okay, so we know that it passed that test, but we're not 100% sure yet that that is going to be what it says it is. So we're going to go over here to Media Info XP. You can use any media info program you want. This is the one I choose to use. And what we're looking for here is we want to make sure that it's square. And what we see here is 2160 by 2160. I did this wrong here. You can do automatic best, but since we know that the video is like almost 2000, to make the best size file, we need to change this number to 2000. Basically use the number from your source video as your restrict to number. Okay, so when we do this, what we're gonna find is that even though it's a smaller video, it probably won't show a great difference. When you have a larger video, it's gonna make a big difference in the size of your final output, because even though there's a number and it's grayed out down there in the restrict to box, it's gonna actually use that grayed out number. I don't know why it does that, but you end up with a larger file size. You may not notice the difference here, but for other projects, bigger videos, you're gonna definitely want to keep an eye on that number. Let's compare the two files. Yeah, take a look at this. We just cut it in half. And on a bigger size file, it's going to save you even more room. So that's important. Don't forget that little tip there. Hopefully I explained that well enough. So the main points here, if you're using DaVinci Resolve, you want to start with your resolution of your source. You want to start with the restrict to the bitrate of your source. And you want to take that and more than likely clip out a 15-second to 1 minute area and upscale that to the next highest. Now, if you're already on 4K, you don't need to worry about that. But if you're at 1080p, scale it up to 2160p. If you're at 720p, scale it up to 1080p. It's going to give you slightly better quality overall. And then upload that to YouTube only one time. Make sure you put hashtag shorts in the description and in the title. And it should then register if it is a squared resolution, if it is between 15 seconds and a minute long. It should register as a short with their system. One last tip, I guess, is to look for funny moments, you know, crazy cool things that happen. Maybe you did a water bucket from really high up. Any kind of little story. You're trying to create a little miniature story that has a beginning, middle, and end, and that captures the viewer's interest and either gives them a laugh or shows something amazing. I think Dream does some really good shorts videos, so you should check out some of the examples from other YouTubers and get an idea and a feel for the best way to put these together. The more entertaining it is, the better a story it is, the more people will click on it and watch it. All right, catch you guys in the next video.